Well, welcome everybody to this 60 minutes of slow vinyasa flow. We're going to start our 3 series of journey into Pincha Mayurasana. And today we're going to focus mainly on strengthening and become aware of our core. And we're just going to warm up the shoulders. So if you need any strap, any blocks, a blanket, any props that you would like to have in your disposal, please go ahead and take a time to find them. This class will be shared with all of you after we're done. So you have an entire week to redo it again and get ready for next Sunday. And then it will be added to the on-demand collection. What I wanted to say, what else did I wanted to say? Well, that I'm thankful and grateful that you're here with me today. So let's go ahead and start on your back. So feel free to lay on your back, keep your knees bent, keep your feet on the ground, close your eyes if that feels the right thing to do. Just a little settling, a little grounding ourselves here before we begin. Feel free to rest your hand somewhere that feels right to you, whether on your lower abdomen, your chest. And reconnect to how you feel today, right this moment. Remember to be curious and kind to whatever you feel today in your body. And notice what parts of the body are feeling tight or tense. And utilize your exhale to help you kind of soften a little bit that tension. Just relaxing your face, your jaw. Soften the shoulders, your chest. Let go of any tension around your abdomen and your belly. Feel the weight of your pelvis resting on the ground and your legs fully relaxing here. And very gently start activating your Ujjayi breath, a slightly contraction of the muscles around your throat to feel and hear your own breathing. See if you can stretch that breath. It's almost like you are flavoring the beginning of your inhale, the middle, and the end. A gentle pause to slow down before you start exhaling, noticing the beginning of the exhale, the middle, and the end. Notice if that breath maybe can get a little deeper, starting from the lower abdomen all the way to your rib cage, up into the throat and the nose. It's very important, right, in this slow vinyasa to be mindful and connecting to the breath, because the breath is going to be the director of your symphony of moving the body. So keep that in mind whenever you become aware of any distractions where the mind might wander off your mat. Bring it back to that gentle and soft breath. So I'm going to give you 3 more rounds on your own to connect even deeper and deeper into that mindful Ujjayi breath. Becoming more present and more relaxed with every exhale. Good, and then slowly keep that breath and reach the arms overhead and give yourself a long stretch, especially if you're joining me live. This is a good morning way to awaken the body. Point the toes, really feel that deep stretch. And then slowly hug the knees into your chest as you exhale. And gently rock side to side here. Just kind of feeling your body weight on the lower back. And then continue hogging a little bit deeper the knees into the chest, draw the belly in and gently lift the chest, almost like you're trying to bring your shin in between the knees. Make sure you're lifting from the chest and not from the shin bone. And just kind of stay here like a little tight ball, engaging the core. And then release the head down, release the feet down. One more stretch, extending the legs in front of you. Good, and then as you exhale, bend the knees, feet on the ground, and reach the hands towards the ceiling and flex your palms. So it's almost like you're trying to hold the ceiling in your hands. So your hands are gonna be as wide as the shoulders, right above the shoulders. Spread your fingers, really imagine you're actually putting weight on your hands. So feel free to adjust the shoulder blades. Feel free to adjust the chest so you really feel comfortable on your upper back. And then bend the knees and so hover your shin bones into each other, parallel towards each other, knees right above the hips. So try to press your belly into the spine because there's going to be a tendency to arch the lower back. So we're doing like tabletop on your back. And this is getting a little bit intense, especially if you're trying to press the femur right above your hips. Keep pressing your lower belly in. And this is what we're going to do. We're going to do a bird dog on your back. So once again, pressing the navel towards the spine, take a deep inhale, extend and hover your right leg in front of you and left hand above you. And then slowly come back to center, exhale. Inhale, extending your left leg, right arm above the head. So you're floating, keeping that right knee above the hip. Exhale, slowly back to center. So you're gonna start feeling a little bit of heat around the core already. Opposite side, right leg extend, point your toes, extend your left arm above the head. Keep the left knee above the hips and slowly come back to center. Opposite, nice and slow. Inhale, left leg extend, right arm above the head, belly in. Slowly exhale back to center. So we're gonna do 3 more on each side, and the trick in here is to move slowly. It's almost like you're moving through honey, and slowly, slowly come back to center. That's where you're starting to activate that lower belly, the lower abdomen. Exhale, opposite side, extending through the right arm, left leg. Inhale slowly, 4-second exhale to come back to center. Inhale, right leg extend, left arm above the head, 4 seconds to get into that movement. Keep the right arm above the shoulder. Slowly inhale, come back to center. Opposite, right arm, left leg. Nice and slow, nice and slow, nice and slow, in control. Slowly come back to center. I know this is getting really tired. 1 more on each side. You can do this slowly, slowly, slowly. Extending. I know there is that need to go fast, but go slowly, slowly, slowly. Belly in. And last one, right arm, left leg. 4 seconds to get there. Inhale. Exhale, 4 seconds to go back to center. And then hug those knees into the chest. Ah. This is just the beginning. Just soften any tension you might have feel in the jaw. Reconnect to the breath, rock side to side. And just notice that internal heat that starts building around the core. 1 more breath in. Good, now bring your hands behind your thigh and we're gonna roll back and forth nice and slow. So once again, we're going into that 4 seconds. So 4 seconds to lift the hips, come into the hips. A little Navasana as you exhale, round slowly, 4 seconds, lifting the hips back to the shoulders. Exhale, inhale, back to the hips. Exhale, back to the shoulders. So Once again, the slower you go, the more activation of the core, precision, and calm you're going through. 3 more rounds, nice and slow, back to the hips. Exhale slowly back to the shoulders. Inhale into the hips. Exhale back to the shoulders. And last one, inhale to the hips. Exhale back to the shoulders. And then come into your baby Savasana. Whatever baby means for you. So it could be behind, hands behind the thighs, hand on the floor, feet on the ground. Lifting from the lower back. Bring the chest closer to your thighs. Squeeze the inner ankles, squeeze the inner knees. Stay here for 1 more breath. And then exhale, release the feet on the ground, Trikonasana. Heels touch, knees out to the side. And bring your hands around your ankle joints, so nice and tall, lean back. A little stretch of the core in here. How's the breath? My breath is definitely compromised. I'm sure yours is too. So make sure you take a long and mindful breath in. Full on exhale. Nice. Close your knees in here for a moment and then transfer into tabletop, hands and knees. If you need to adjust your hands because your wrists are sensitive, remember you can come into your fists. Keep those hands under the shoulders, feet with your toes tucked under because we want to stretch the fascia on your plantar. And then your knees right under the hips, neutralize the core. Lower ribs slightly in. Minimize the arch of the lower back. Keep the crown of the head towards the front of the mat so you're in alignment with the rest of the spine around your neck. Let's do 3 rounds of cat-cow. Moving from the tailbone first, lifting, arch the lower back. Stretch the core. Oh, this should feel good. Open the chest, look up. Slow exhale, round the upper back. Drop the head, look back. 2 rounds at your own pace, breathing slowly in and exhaling. 1 more breath. And exhale. Come back to center with your spine. We're going to go into puppy pose to stretch the shoulders. Here you can place your hands on top of blocks if you have them. Otherwise, open your arms a little wider than your mat. That's going to create more space for the shoulders. We're going to drop the chest down, keeping the hips up, and rest the forehead on the mat. Separate the shoulder blades. It's almost like you are internally rotating your biceps. Just pressing the palms, pressing your feet down into the floor. Stay here for 2 more breaths. And then slowly we're going to press the palms, lift the head, lift the chest. And let's go into our first Adho Mukha Shavasana, downward facing dog. So be kind to your legs. If you need to keep those knees first bended. If you need to keep the heels off the mat for a moment here, just to lengthen more through the spine. So make sure your index and your thumb are really pressing into your mat. And you're grounding yourself through your fingertips and your knuckles. So that's going to give you more strength through the arms up into the shoulders so you can feel stronger on the shoulders. Feel free to walk your dog a couple breaths, moving slowly once again. So we allow the muscles to digest the movement. It's very easy to get into this fast-paced movement and translate that into our mat. See if you can embrace the opposite and just go as slow and and mindful as you can in the movements. Once you're done with your walk in the dog, find your stillness in downward facing dog and notice how your body feels today in this pose. Reconnect to your inner strength on the upper back and reconnect to your openness, flexibility on the lower extremities. One more inhale here. Now, as you exhale slowly, we're gonna roll into our first plank. And remember, come into your fists if your wrists are sensitive. As you come into plank, maintain the thigh bones engaged. Belly in, crown of the head straight forward. Exhale back to downward facing dog. Breathing through the nose, inhale. Exhale, plank again. So you have to move your toes and feet a little back so you can bring the pelvis slightly parallel to the floor. Exhale, lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. 2 more rounds. Inhale, dog. Long exhale, rock into your plank. Inhale, plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, dog. Exhale, plank, slowly getting there. Once you get there, stay for a long inhale. Exhale, back to downward facing dog. Deep breath in, look forward. As you exhale, slowly walk to the top of your mat. Take your time. Find Uttanasana. Exhale at the top of your mat. Drop the head. Inhale, lengthen your spine, come halfway up. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale all the way up to standing, reaching arms overhead. Touch your palms, stay long in here. Scoop your belly and grow taller through the spine. Exhale, forward fold. Stretching your hamstrings, scooping your belly. Lengthen, inhale, your spine halfway up. Exhale, bow forward. Drop the head. Inhale all the way up to standing, arms overhead, nice and slow. Grounding yourself through your feet. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lengthen halfway up. Exhale, bend the knees, drop your hands, step back into plank. One leg at a time. I want you to start to feel stronger or even more comfortable with plank. Engage your fingertips and your knuckles so your wrists are not all supporting the weight. Lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Let's take our first vinyasa. Take an inhale, downward facing dog. Exhale, plank. Inhale, plank. You can drop the knees in here for Chaturanga Dandasana, nice and slow. Keeping the shoulders high. Hold it, and open the chest for cobra slowly. Feel that stretch of the abdomen. And then exhale back to downward facing dog. Beautiful. Follow the breath. 4-second inhale. 4-second exhale. Just one more like that before we go into other fun stuff. Inhale, look forward. Grow taller through the spine. As you exhale, walk to the top of your mat. Lengthen your spine halfway up once you get there. Put some weight into your toes. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale all the way up, arms overhead. Long exhale, forward fold. Lengthen your spine halfway up, a strong upper back, belly in. Exhale, bending the knees deeply, hands on the ground, stepping one foot at a time for plank. Full breath in. Exhale, Chaturanga. You can drop the knees, moving slowly. Hold the plank for at least 1 second. Then open the chest for cobra. I meant to say hold the chaturanga. Exhale back to downward facing dog. Good, take an inhale, look forward. Exhale, take all the time you need, 4 seconds at least. Walk to the top of the mat. Once you reach in there, drop the head, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale all the way up to standing, arms overhead. Exhale, Samasthiti, palms together in the center of the heart. Just take a moment here to acknowledge how are you feeling, how's the energy, how's the breath. Just like in the beginning, reconnect to your Ujjayi breath, deep inhaling in, deep exhale. We're gonna do Sun Salutation C, variation without the arms, so we can engage our core. And don't worry about it, I'll guide you through it. So take an inhale, arms overhead. As you exhale, bend the knees, find your chair pose. Now, here's where we're gonna start using our body without the hands. From chair pose, we're gonna drop the hands down and back as you kick that right foot back and drop the knee down. So right knee down, arms overhead, inhale. Now, as you exhale, hands down, lifting the back leg, stepping back to that chair. So that's what we're gonna do, one leg at a time, okay? Exhale, left foot back, low lunge, arms overhead. Exhale, stepping forward, chair pose. Inhale down to that low lunge. Exhale, lean back. Inhale, stepping forward, chair pose, exhale. So continue at your own pace, switching side to side, moving slowly. And as you swipe the arms back and down, helping you to move, we're working on strengthening our legs, strengthening our core. So you have to pay attention to something on the ground to find your stability and using the breath as a momentum, as your own pace. Beautiful. Wherever you are, let's just do 2 more rounds on each side, starting now. Take your time, breathing in and breathing out. And 1 more on each side. You're doing great. So the sequence is almost like a drill to prepare the body for that dolphin. So you feel the entire body fully awakened. And then on your last round, we're gonna meet in chair for a couple breaths. And then exhale, forward fold. Grab opposite elbows, dangle side to side. Ooh, reconnect to the breath. Feel free to bend the knees. Take your time. Good. And then release the hands, bend the knees deeply so your pelvis is almost like a chair pose. And without lifting the hips, kicking the right leg back slowly for that high lunge. Beautiful. Settle your feet. So you might want to open them as wide as the hips. Lower the hips a little bit more. Spread your toes. Engage your core and come all the way up for that high lunge. All right, deep breath in. Exhale, drop the back heel, open into that warrior 2, into the right side. So left foot forward, right foot back, open in the chest to the right, wider side of your mat. Good, one inhale. We're gonna reverse the warrior. So the front hand is reaching up and back. Breathing in. Exhale back to warrior. Extend the front leg. We're gonna do a variation of pyramid pose. Sorry, Trikonasana to engage the core. So both hands are gonna reach up above the head. And you're gonna collapse your left hip and you're gonna lean yourself halfway forward down for this variation of Trikonasana. Ooh, a lot of core. Ground yourself through the legs. Ground yourself through the toes. Breathe in. Rebend the front knee back into that warrior two. You're doing great. We're gonna lift the back heel, square the hips back into that high lunge. Inhale. Exhale, hands down, step back to your plank. Full inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take 2 breaths in here. Take 2 breaths. If it feels a little bit overwhelming, if it feels like it's too much, maybe it's because it is. So take a moment here to ground, to breathe, to settle, to drop the judgment. You're doing the best you can. You're back to your mat. That's what matters. This is not about perfection. This is not about anything. It's about you connecting to your body and your breath. So just give your mind a moment to soften the overthinking. So let's just do that on the other side. Take an inhale, look forward. As you exhale, slowly walk to the top of your mat. Take your time. Once you reach there, take a full exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come all the way up to standing. Reaching arms overhead, feel that stretch. If you want to add a little back bend at the top to stretch the core, go ahead. And then exhale, Samasthiti, hands in the center of the heart. Same thing, we're gonna bend the knees deeply, almost like a chair pose with the hands down on the floor. And we're gonna try to keep the pelvis down deeper here as we come into high lunge, keeping the hands down. Left foot extends back. Settle in. When you feel grounded, slowly lift yourself up to your high lunge, crescent lunge. Keep bending the front knee, keep lifting the back leg. And then we're gonna drop the back leg, the back heel into that warrior two, right? So now you are facing the left side of your mat, arms are extended. Just make sure you're doing the opposite side of your body. Front hand reaches up and back for reversing the warrior. Keep bending the top knee. Exhale, warrior two again. Extend the front leg, inhale. Arms overhead. Make sure the chest is open to the wider side of your mat as you kind of gently lean forward and down. Put some weight into the inside of that front foot. Engage your quadriceps, your core. One more breath in. Exhale, rebend back to warrior two. Very nice, inhale. Exhale, lift the back leg, squaring the hips. Huge high lunge. Hands down slowly, pressing back into that plank. Full breath in. Exhale, downward facing dog. If you want child's pose, this is a good time to go for it. We're gonna stay here for 3 breaths. Notice your heart, notice your breath. Keep your hands strong. Try to use strength instead of flexibility on downward facing dog. So keep engaging your shoulder blades. Good. One more breath in. Now, as you exhale, come into plank for a moment. Drop the knees in here. We're just gonna do a variation, and then for the second round, you're gonna have the option to do it on your knees or keeping the legs extended. With your right hand, touch your left shoulder, and then drop it down and switch side. So we're just touching opposite shoulders with opposite hands, engaging the core. So this is a little bit more doable if you are on your knees. If you are ready to have that challenge, see if you can do that from plank without collapsing the pelvis and without lifting that booty up too much. Opposite hand touching opposite elbow. Engage the core, sip your core in. Uddiyana Bandha. Keep the breath. Don't collapse on the neck. Strong legs. One more on each side. Good. And then release the knees down, belly down, thighs down. Sphinx pose. Come into your forearms. A gentle stretch for the core here. So press your feet strongly into the floor. Press your hip bones into the floor, your pelvis. So that way you're lengthening through the sacrum, minimizing discomfort on the lower back. You're pressing through the elbows, your forearms, and your wrists. And you're bringing the shoulder blades a little closer towards each other to help you open the sternum and the clavicle. So this is stretching all your abdomen. And just adding a little bit of back bend at the top. One more breath. I know these type of practices are the practices that we all avoid because they're tough. They're dealing with parts of the body that we just rather just not deal with it, right? So be kind here to yourself. Tuck your toes under. Leave your knees off the mat. Close the chest, almost like pushing the floor away with your forearms. And then lift the pelvis to dolphin plank. 2 breaths in here. Remember not to collapse the neck. And then slowly drop the thighs, the pelvis, open the chest, X-Sphinx, press the top of your feet. Just 3 more rounds like that. Exhale, close, lift the legs, dolphin plank. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Drop the pelvis, the knees, the thighs. Open the chest, inhale, Sphinx pose. Shoulders relax. Face relax. Dolphin plank, get ready. Slowly, 2 breaths in here. Engage your legs. Draw the belly in. Drop the knees, the thighs, the pelvis. Sweet Sphinx pose. Got 1 more. When you're ready, dolphin plank. Push the floor away with your forearms. Stay strong on your breath. And then release the knees. Once again, your Sphinx pose. Let's take a child's pose. Keep the knees together. Press back. Sit on the heels. Bring your hands by your side, touching your feet. Keep the shoulders a little break here. Reconnect to that breath. Feel that internal heat building up through your entire body. We're moving, stock energy. We're activating circulation. We're moving the lymphatic, the toxins through the oxygen, through your cells. We're designed and meant to move. And we have kind of forgotten in this very sedentary world. So just analyze how you feel without the judgment. Keep breathing nice and slow through the nose. Two more breaths. Alrighty. And then very slowly come and sit on the heels for a moment if that feels comfortable for your feet. Otherwise, you can tuck your toes. So we're coming into that size up pose. Take a moment here to recalibrate, to start with a clean slate in here. We have built up strength, we have built flexibility, we're warm up and ready. I'm just gonna do one demo of what we're gonna do next. And I think for the next round of the class, it's better that you follow your breath and you follow your own way before I got you through, because it's gonna get a little bit off if I got you through the breath. So the sequence is very simple. We're gonna start in downward facing dog. I'm gonna start on my right and then my left. I'm going into my dolphin, walking my feet as straight to my face. It's important that you lift the sit bones up. Maybe you wanna bounce your hips up and down. And then from here, you go back and slowly into downward facing dog. Take one breath and then dropping the opposite arm back into that dolphin. Walking the feet slowly closer for that pincha. The idea is to bring the hips as much as you can above the shoulders. All core engagement. Remember that today is not going to be full pincha. We're just warming up the body. Stepping back to dolphin. Same hand that went down, lift yourself up into downward facing dog. Does that make sense? So we can do the first one together. So take your time. Find your downward facing dog. See if you can imagine yourself being a kid again. This is your inner child having fun. Don't let this serious adult ruin the fun. Drop your right elbow. Drop your left elbow. Interlace your fingers. Find your dolphin. Just notice how that feels in your body. Really pushing the floor away with the forearms. Slowly lift the hips and maybe walk the feet a little closer. And that's it. Maybe you bring the heels up and down a couple times, coming into your tippy toes. And that's it. Drop the heels, walk the feet slightly back, dolphin pose. Right hand press, left hand press, downward facing dog. One breath in. Full exhale. Left elbow drops, right elbow drops. Dolphin pose. Walk your feet and bounce up and down into that little pincha, strengthening. And back into that dolphin. Left arm push, right arm push, back to downward facing dog. And just one more like that on your own pace, just one more. Take your time. Feel the body, stay with the breath. Same hand that went down is the same hand pushing you up. And that's one side. And then you do the opposite arm and you complete the cycle. And you also need to listen the body. If your body's saying, no way, Jose, this is too much, just take a child's pose. Honor what the body needs. And once you're done with this cycle drilling, just everybody in child's pose, hands by your side. That's it. Whew. Let it rest. Very good practice today. Just one more breath here. The good news, we're gonna start to cool down. So all the hard part is almost in the past. When you're ready, find your tabletop. Hands and knees, neutral spine, strong core. We're gonna thread the needle on the right side just to stretch the shoulders a little bit. So as you inhale, reach your right arm out to the side and open your chest to the right. As you exhale, bring that right hand under the left, drop the right shoulder, bring your gaze to the left, and walk your left hand to the front of the mat. Keep your pelvis neutral. Lean into that left shoulder and bring your gaze under your left armpit. Press your feet strongly into the floor and squeeze your belly towards the spine. 2 more breaths. And then walk your left hand close to you, push, and open that right arm to the right again. Just finish it. And then release, come back to center. Let's do that on the other side. Inhale, left arm opens along with the chest to the left. Exhale, bring it under the right, left shoulder on the floor, gaze to the right, right arm to the front of the mat. Anchor your attention on the breath. Your breath is always a little bit challenged in every twist. See if you can create a space in the breath. Lean into that left shoulder. Feel the stretch of your shoulder blade. One more breath in. And then exhale, slowly come back to center. Right hand next to you. Open that left arm out to the side. And then release back into that tabletop. 3 rounds of cat-cow. Just let it feel good at your own pace. Breathing in, breathing out. Good, and then from here, back into that child's pose. Keep your hands to the front of the mat and keep the elbows off the mat. It's a little active child's pose. And now we're gonna walk the hands all the way to the far right. And we're gonna add some extra weight into that left shoulder and your left hip as you let the head drop down. Stretching your lats, stretching all that line of energy of the left side of your spine and your torso. Take one more breath in. As you start exhaling, slowly walk into the center. And when you're ready, opposite side, all the way far to the opposite side. And just adding extra weight into that opposite side. Just calming down your nerve system as you get the breath flowing with ease. Good, and then slowly release and come back to center in child's pose. One more long stretching here in child's pose. Arms reaching to the top of the mat. Pelvis sinking back into the heels. And then slowly release, come all the way up. So I'm gonna give you two options before we finish our class. One option is going to do a bridge pose. So you're coming into your back and you're lifting the hips, hands under, just kind of strengthening the back. Option two, if you have blocks and you want to do a supported fish, you can place one block to support the head, the other block to support the midsection of your back. And it's kind of opening the shoulders, relaxing the neck, relaxing the legs. So you have those two options to play with. And if you're doing the bridge pose, just try to do a kind of feel good bridge pose. You have worked really hard already. And if you're doing the fish, supported fish, feel free to bring those arms in any position that helps you stretch your pecs, maybe cactus arm, whatever feels right. And if you're doing the bridge, you come down and you go up as many times as you like, just kind of tapping into your intuition of what feels right for your body right now. A little bit of playtime where you get to honor and feel your body at this point in the practice. And wherever you are, just 3 more rounds of breath. Good. If you are on bridge, slowly bring your hips down. If you are in your supported fish, take your moment to remove your blocks. And come back to your back. And we're gonna hug the knees into our chest once again. We're gonna gently rock side to side. We're gonna open our arms like a cactus. So bend the elbows, shoulder high, and rest your palms and your fingers on the floor. And we're gonna drop both knees all the way to the right. Bring the gaze to the left. And ground yourself through the left shoulder and your left elbow. Close your eyes and let the supine twist feel relaxing. See if you can do less in here. Let your legs fall in any position they feel like falling. Let your shoulders feel softened and relaxed, grounding through the ground. Feel the breath through the belly, through the chest. Imagine a sensation of cooling down is slowly showering your whole body. Your muscles are strong and relaxed. And your breath feels more open, more spacious, more long and deep. Settle the mind, observing every breath coming in through the nose and going out through the nose. Maybe your heart's still beating a little faster, and that's okay. Just become aware of how the practice feels in the body. It's that mindful awareness. One more breath in. Keep the arms grounding you in cactus and slowly draw the knees to center using your strong core. Keep the spine here for a moment in neutral. And then drop both knees to the opposite side, grounding your elbow and shoulders on the opposite direction of the knees. Bring your gaze to the opposite side of the knees. Let it feel familiar in the body as you soften the twist. It's very important to acknowledge the balance between the yin and the yang, right? We need the sun, the heat, but we also need the moon with the cooling, dark water element. That's what's going to help us to maintain the nerve system a little bit more balanced, regulating on its own. One more breath here. Come back to center with your knees. Let's do pigeon on our back. Cross your right leg on top of the left, hugging the left knee into the chest. Gently push your right thigh away from your chest as you relax your upper back and your neck and your face. Breathing into that right outer hip. Soften your left foot. Start to develop a sense of appreciation for your magnificent, wonderful, amazing body. Thankful for your health, for your movement, for your strength. Gently switch your pigeon on the left side. Right knee to the chest. Left knee away from the chest. Invite a sense of relaxation into the body as you breathe out. Feeling grateful for your breath, keeping you alive moment by moment. One more breath here. And then release your pigeon and go into your happy baby. Heels up, knees bend, spread wider than chest. Grab your heels, your toes, the outer edge of your feet, whatever feels the right place for your hands, and gently rock side to side as you rest your sacrum on the mat. Stretching your inner thighs, breathing, relaxing. And then slowly release the feet into the ground, extending the legs. Let's go into Savasana. Sweet home Savasana. Toes out, relax the legs, palms by your side. You want to grab anything to make yourself comfortable, sweater, socks, a blanket, anything. To finalize with an observation, connecting the stillness, relaxing your toes and your feet, softening your ankles, your knees, and your thighs. Your pelvis is relaxed. Your belly is strong and relax your abdomen. Let go of any tension in the center of your chest. Relax your shoulders. Soften your arms and your fingers. Relax your neck. Soften your jaw, your lips, and your tongue. All the muscles in your face are relaxed. Your eyes, your eyebrows, your forehead. Your head is relaxed and resting on your mat. Your breath is relaxed and your mind is relaxed. Stay with this consciousness, awareness of your existence, resting. Continue resting, continue embracing this moment of rest. Pause and allow yourself to simply be. Gently and slowly take a deep breath in, come back to the whole body, moving your fingers, your toes, move your wrists in circles, ankles in circles. In your next breath in, arms overhead, pointing your toes, one more stretch for a happy Sunday morning. As you exhale, hug one knee at a time to your chest. Rock side to side, awakening slowly from resting. A mindful transition as you roll into your right side. Stay there for a full breath. And very kindly and slowly and gently press to come all the way to your comfortable seated position, grounding through the hips, crown of the head reaching straight up to the sky, hands resting somewhere on your legs or your knees. This is the asana practice. We moved our entire body for almost 60 minutes to find our asana, prepare the body for meditation. And just notice how the body physically, muscularly, energetically, mentally feels invited to soften and to be more aware of the present moment. Observe the sensation of the practice in the body. Notice the richness of the breath. Notice how the space in between the thoughts perhaps is a little bigger. Notice how your body perhaps feels a little bit more centered, more relaxed, more in tune. Notice maybe you feel more you. So we're going to bring the palms together, center of the heart, a gentle bow of the head, to close the practice with gratitude. Infinite gratitude for our bodies, for our health, for our breath, and for the practice that allows to connect us with mindfulness, to become aware of the thoughts and to rest the mind for different mindset patterns sometimes can be auto-destructive. So I thank you for making space for your practice, for prioritizing yourself and connecting to yourself. Infinite gratitude to every one of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.